Welcome back everyone to our mini lecture series Jump the Gap, Why We All Need a Sustainability Mindset, episode 3. Let's dive right into the topic, and our topic today is, come on, slide please, thank you. What do we need to do as to develop into a sustainable society, a global society? We need to talk about global society. And we need to talk about donuts. So this is quite interesting. We will come back to the Sustainable Development Goals as well. We've seen already in previous episode. Okay, so let's talk about ecology and economy. And the economy is really important for the development of human society and different countries and nations and cities. And ecology is really very important for protecting nature, protecting ourselves as part of nature. And whenever you hear the news, there's always this confrontation, ecology, economy, and particularly in the media, economy is a more important topic because we all depend on economic growth. This is part of our global economic system. It's based on debts, and if you want to service your debts, you need to have more growth. So all the problems that you create needs more maintenance, so you need more money, so you need more economic growth. So economic growth is really highlighting the political agenda. And in many cases, there's always a feeling, oh, we have to do the economy first before we can do ecology. There's always this tension between these particular topics. But this is not making a lot of sense. Yeah? If you go directly back to the terms ecology and economy as termed originally in the Greek language, then ecology is the study of the house. So it studies the relationship between living organisms, including humans and their physical environment. So this is how your household is working. Yeah, the fundamentals of your life. Economy, if you translate this, is management of the household. Yeah, oikos is the household, and nemo is distribute, allocate. So economy is just how you manage your life in your household. It's like you are being the supervisor of the household, or you are the manager of the household processes. So this is a subordinated role, yeah, because without ecology there is no economy. I just want to highlight this, that we look like we put the cart here before the horse. And we need to be a more balanced approach if we want to really find sustainable solutions for our problems. So, and this is where this diagram is really very helpful, where we have two different spheres that are really important. So one is the ecological and environmental sphere, yeah, that really is managing a viable natural environment. The economy sphere is creating a sufficient economy for the society to thrive. And then very important in between is the social sphere, where we are really living, because we all depend on a nurturing community so that we can develop, grow and thrive. And we really depend on this. And now you see in the different intersections you have a combination of elements, social economic elements, an equitable social environment. So social justice is really important element we need to tackle. Between ecology, economy, a sustainable economic development, an economic development that does not degrade our natural environment. And between society and ecology, yeah, having a sustainable and natural built environment, so that people live in their communities, yeah, in harmony with nature. And then we come to the intersection of all three spheres. This is what we are aiming for, sustainable development. So if we go into the center intersection of these three spheres, we do it right. And all our actions that we do in the next decades to improve climate change, to improve social justice, to improve biodiversity, we have to check our actions against their implementation for economic, social and environmental elements. Are we in the center of these three spheres? Then we are doing it right. So this is really interesting. You cannot just focus on one of these aspects. We will need holistic solutions and holistic management, always looking into the interactions with all other elements to shift us into this yellow area for sustainable development. We are not there yet, we all agree. So I really like this diagram to the right. This is Earth's Overshoot Day. And in this bar you see every year from 1970s to 2020. The green part is where we live within the capacity of Earth, and the red bar is where we are taking more resources out than Earth can regenerate in a year. So we are living above our means. And you see in 1970 we just consumed the resources of one Earth, and this was in balance at least, but it was not favorable. But then from 1970 onwards, you see clearly every year overall we have used up more resources of the planet than the planet can replenish. And in 2020, we are already using the resources of 1.6 planets every year. Obviously, this is not sustainable. We degenerate the supporting mechanism of the planet we are depending on. And we have to reverse this. We have to go back to this. And if we talk in general about humanity has to do this, we need to be very careful here, because the current trends in sustainability, current trends in climate change is mostly driven by the developed countries. So about 25% of humanity is really here causing all the issues, and 75% of humanity is just being in the same boat with us and suffering the consequences. So we should not always talk about humanity or to look somewhere else. They should do something first. We need to look on our own responsibilities and what we can do, and we should not simplify a problem that is complex and say this is a global problem, humanity has to act everywhere at the same level. No, the ones that have caused the problem have to act faster on behalf of the global success. And you can look into more detail into this overshoot day, into the country overshoot day 2021 diagram to the right, to the left, sorry. And here you see when different countries are overshooting in itself their resource share that they should not overuse. So, for example, the leader here is Qatar and Luxembourg. They have used up all their shared resources already in February. So 1.5 months in, they have used up all their share of the resources. Then if I go to my country, Germany is here. Germany is overshooting already in the first week of May. So again, we are using much more resources from the planet that we should use. If you go to UK, where we are here right now, UK is overshooting May 19th. Is not looking good. Countries that do quite a lot of stuff right, if you look into it, my favorite is Costa Rica. They do an amazing job in biodiversity regeneration. they make it much further through the year, so they overshoot August 16. And if you then look at the leaders of the pack, yeah, it's only right now Indonesia, Ecuador, and Nicaragua that make it until December. Yeah, so these are the countries that would be at least mostly in the means of regeneration of resources from the planet and their consumption. So, of course, it's obvious this is not sustainable, and the countries with most of the resource extraction have to change and have to support ecological transition and sustainability activities across the globe to shift this picture. So how can we do this? How can we figure out how do we need to develop? How do we need to live as part of a sustainable society? And here is a diagram I really find extremely helpful, and it's being developed by scientists in 2015, and it looks at the entire planet and the key processes and cycles of the planet that keeps the planet healthy, and they look in these groups and they figure out 8 different planetary boundaries that are important for us not to overshoot, to keep the planet into a safe operating space for humanity. So one is climate change, obviously. The next one is biodiversity. Land systems change, so how we degrade landscapes and agriculture affect. Freshwater use is another one. Biochemical flows, so this is a flow of nutrients on global scale, mostly nitrogen and phosphorus. Ocean acidification, another really important boundary, and we discuss this in terms of coral bleaching right now, and the oceans are getting too acidic by assimilating CO2. We have an impact on marine life. Atmospheric aerosol loading, this is about air pollution. Stratospheric ozone depletion, important because it shields us from the high energy sunlight. Novel entities is a collection basket of stuff that we may trigger, yeah, like a particular chemical pollution like microplastics that needs to be really looked into because it's novel and it's affecting the entire planet. So, and all these areas we have to look into very careful, and they should stay in the green zone for supporting sustainable humanity life on Earth. And you see there are areas, particular biochemical flows, climate change, biodiversity, land system change, where we seriously overshoot. So these diagrams, this visualization, this concept really shows us where we need to act first to develop into a sustainable society. So we are tackling climate change, but we also have to tackle biodiversity loss. Yeah? We have to also look into biochemical flows and land usage, because they are all contributing to a safe living space on Earth. So, and this is a global perspective, and it's really important. But I also think it's really important not to forget we are living in cities, we are living in societies, we are living in communities, we are living in families, we are individuals. How do we fit in there, and what can we contribute? And this social cultural framework is very important. We need to keep this in mind when we ask others to make changes to their lifestyle in the same way we are being asked to do so. And here I like this diagram because it's a Maslow hierarchy of needs. Every individual, every human being needs their needs fulfilled to be able to act responsibly, to contribute to family, community, and to contribute to solving bigger problems. And here you see the first two levels of the pyramid. These are the basic needs. Yeah. So these are psychological needs: food, water, warmth, rest, just to survive. And this is safety, yeah? Safety needs, yeah? You need security and safety so that you can sleep at a place where you don't feel being persecuted or harassed. And if these basic needs are not fulfilled, you can't do anything else, because you always will try to make ends meet here. Yeah. So we can't ask people to contribute to solving bigger global problems without them being able to fulfill their basic needs first. This is why you see very poor people in very poor countries are degrading their environment just to get some resources to survive. You can't blame them, because we need to help them to get their security and their psychological needs fulfilled first. The next step then, if this is fulfilled, is psychological needs. So this is a feeling of belonging and love and esteem, what you will create in your family, in your cycle of friends, in your community. Yeah. So stable communities and stable families will allow human beings to get to this level. And only when these levels are reached, you can really go to self-actualization, the tip of the pyramid, where you can tackle really big problems and can share your energy to solve global problems. So social justice, yeah, is really very important, and social fairness in tackling all of our problems. As long as we get people not up to the mid levels of the pyramid, they can't help tackling the big problems in a meaningful way. We need to keep social elements, and we need to keep the global elements in balance and look at them. Yeah, and so we have to probably change society. Yeah, and I like this particular diagram. So to the left you see a typical society organization structure. It's a hierarchy with someone at the top, and then you see different levels of hierarchy below. But this is not really how a society works. A society is a social network, and where you see there is not a particular stratified level in there, but you see a lot of interconnections between individual entities interacting with each other. And this is a much more dynamic, a much more resilient organization structure. And if you look in nature, each of these boxes in the society network in itself probably would be an ecosystem. And this ecosystem in itself is a network and has linked to other ecosystems outside of this particular ecosystem as well. So it's even more a networked and webbed relationship than we see in human societies. And we call this a web of life. This is really something we need to understand. Yeah? There are no novel entities in there. Everything is interconnected. Everything depends on each other. And every interaction you do has repercussions to the entire web via these many connections. And many of the connections we don't even are aware of and we don't know. So we need to observe and see how our actions are being transmitted through the network to really fully understand our impact. And this is where we come to donuts. I'm getting already hungry here. But our current economic system does not work. We know this. Yeah? Our current economic system is based on the narrative of continuous economic growth. So you create more products, you use more resources, you get more money every step forward in time, and this is not sustainable. Yeah? You can't have economic growth. In nature, there is no exponential growth besides cancer, and in nature, growth is always cyclic. Yeah? It's birth, it's growth, it's maturity, and then it's death, and it will be recycled. So our entire economic system really is an extractive economy. Yeah? We take resources, we make a product, we use the product, and we dispose it. And we need a new product, we take new resources out of nature. This is where we operate right now. It doesn't work, so we have to transform our linear economy into a circular economy. Yeah? You take resources once, yeah, and you make stuff, you use it, then you reuse it and reuse it and reuse it until you can't use it anymore. Then you recycle it, and you need to have then the materials again to make new products. It must be a circular process to break the resource extraction habit we have right now, causing our Earth's overshoot day. So, how do you build an economy based on all these previously discussed elements? Yeah. So our economy needs to serve ecology. It needs to be embedded in the environment and in human society, and to serve society and serve ecology. And there is this fantastic model coming out from Kate Ravers and her research team from Oxford. And this is a new economic model, and she calls this the donut economy. And it's really great. It's fantastic. So the donut economy is saying, okay, we know now we have an ecological ceiling, the planetary boundaries. We are not allowed to overshoot. So these are the outer perimeter of our donut. Yeah, we have to consider. But we also have the social foundations. So we need to have societies take care of the needs of the individuals. Yeah, like energy, water, food, health, education, income, peace and justice, political voice, social equity, gender equality, housing, and networks. Yeah, so these are all elements of social needs of individuals that need to be fulfilled in a society, or in a country, or even global. So where do you want to be? You want to be in this green space that is showing the safe space between the ecological ceiling and the social foundation you need to meet with your economic model. If you overshoot the ecological ceiling, yeah, you are harming the planetary life support system. If you have shortfalls on the social foundation, then your members of society are not able to really support any meaningful change for sustainable society, and you have to take care of this. So this means the safe operation space for humanity is between the ecological ceiling and the social foundation. And this is where you see the donut. Yeah, you don't want to be in the center of the donut because there is no donut to eat, and you don't want to be outside of the donut because there is no donut. You want to be in the donut ring itself. And now you can use this to map out all your economic activities as a country, globally, or as a city or a community, to see where you are. And if you map this out right now, our current economic picture in donut view, you see this is a global view, and everything red is an overshoot of the ecological ceiling, or it's a shortfall in the social foundation. And you see there are major overshoots: climate change, biodiversity loss. We have discussed in our previous slide with the planetary boundaries. But also, if you look into social foundations, there are quite a lot of shortcomings right now and shortfalls we still have to tackle. And this is a discussion we have right now with tackling climate change and other global issues. You can't have big changes without social justice, gender equality, and transfers between rich nations and poor nations to make global efforts into our big problems. So this is where this new economic model is really being able to put your economic activities into a framework where you can check, do you improve any of the shortfalls or overshoots as you put your economic model in place. It's extremely helpful, and there are countries and cities and communities nowadays to use this model, and you can see more details on donuteconomics.org and on YouTube. It's really inspiring, holistic view of global society and society in itself. So this concludes our episode 3. Thank you very much for being so patient and listening to me, and I hope I see you all in episode 4 in a short time. Thank you very much.